Yo, what is up, everybody? My name is Kid Ikarus, and this is my podcast. My guest today is a hip hop artist. You can check out his album Visions over on Spotify. Please welcome Rico Barre. We're into the actual episode now. All right, so yeah, let's jump into talking about what was the song we were just talking about? See me now.
It's called What You See Now.
What
So
You
that's
See Now?
one of the singles, and if people look at it, there's actually a conversation.
Yeah, some text messages as the album art. Yeah.
So that's between me and my sister. So that's my sister Six,
Mm-hmm.
and we were texting because there was a lot of stuff that really happened with that went into writing the song as well as what went into releasing this song. So the text message we're talking about is actually about my aunt, and around the time I released it, she had just passed away.
Okay.
The song itself was a tribute to two of my stepbrothers
Mm-hmm.
who I lost during 2020. The first one, he passed away from a childhood disease, and the other one was unfortunately murdered. So you hear in the song, R.I.P. to Juju. I swear I just left your service. Then I heard Dartel was murdered. Nigga, I've been hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Like dang, like really throughout 2020, not just these deaths, but I really felt like it was a lot going on, and like every time I was like, okay, you know what, like keep going. Something just came through and it was like
chop your legs out from under you.
Yeah, like, oh, did you hear this person died, this person died, this person died, and it was like to a point where it's like I'm tired of every family reunion being a funeral, man. Like,
yeah,
it's not. I didn't feel like that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And especially it's, it was people like I feel it's like every time I started getting closer to somebody,
yeah,
it was just 2020 was, I think, for all of us just it's a crazy year, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially for you though, it sounds like that sounds really rough. What were the text messages about in the album art?
So it was about at the time I was living in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Vegas during the pandemic, and I was FaceTiming. I had FaceTime members of my family, so my sister had always gone to like see my aunt and my grandma, and she would always FaceTime me when she did that. So the last time I seen my aunt was on FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt has been a big supporter of me since I was little. She was an author. Mm-hmm. She had her little, bit of fame of what she was doing as well. So she was always trying to hook me up with things that she was doing. And I wasn't always around as much as I wanted to be. But like basically, that message was me saying like, hey, did she hear it? Like, this song before it's released. Hey, did she? This is after she had passed away. We were talking about it. Hey, just let me know. Did she hear that song?
Yeah.
And my sister was like, yeah, she heard it, and she was like, that's my nephew. Like, it was a proud moment. So it's like for me not to be able to see her in person, but for her to feel that way about the music, especially too, like one of my brothers that I wrote it about.
Mm-hmm.
The last text message that I got from him was, bro, send me your music.
Yeah.
And this was when I had I was just doing SoundCloud at the time, and my latest release was a song called Where's the Love, and it was a freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, send me your music, and I sent it to him, and that's the last conversation I had with him. So
yeah,
these conversations, man, hit me really hard.
Do you find it easier to connect with people through music than through normal conversation?
Most definitely, because I'm gonna be honest, bro. Growing up, like, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm the weird kid, bro. Like, yeah. I'm the nobody wants to sit at lunch with you. Like, I'm probably roaming by myself. Like, I have people I'm cool with, but I don't stick to like one specific friend group. But music for me was definitely like, anybody who talks to me, you'll hear me say like, oh yeah, I remember this one song J. Cole said, and I'm using it just in casual conversation. Like, I'm pulling out music quotes in regular conversation, because music was that for me. It's it's what broke me out of my shell.
Yeah.
It's the way I communicate. It's the way I think.
Yeah.
It's the way I just move about life.
It's like a quick hand, right? So you can be able to be like, hey, do you feel this too? Like, yeah. I'm gonna say this line from this person. Like, you notice that too, right? Yeah.
So like for me, I definitely say like, actually, I'd say music raised me.
Yeah. Yeah. With your own music though, do you feel like when you can't say stuff to people, you know, you put it in a song and then be like, hey, listen to this. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool, right? Like it's a good way to in my case, it's a good way to like justify my feelings, you know?
right.
Where like if I tell somebody how I feel, I'm like, there's a lot of different factors. They might not take it the right way, but if I take the time to like put it into a song, I can make sure like, no, this is how I feel. If you like the song, then you like how I feel. It doesn't matter what you how you want to interpret it. If you like it, you like it. You know what I'm saying?
The microphone never judges, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, as when I just mentioned, I pull out quotes from music and stuff like that. It's a J. Cole song where he's rapping with Kaz, and the song's called Zendaya. I don't know if you've heard it.
No, I haven't.
So, but J. Cole basically says, just remember on your lonely nights, this mic will be your friend. You tell it all your secrets that you keep it deep within. You know, and if he doesn't understand, at least he can pretend. So you know what I mean? So yeah, when you put out a song and you either just talking about anything, how dope you think you are, or you know what, man, I really thought it was gonna work out with this girl, and you know what, it didn't. How many hit songs have come from somebody who was in a relationship and it just didn't work out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many, you know, I don't want to drop names, but it's so many names.
Yeah, it's the bulk of music. I mean,
yeah.
I think that a huge part of the evolution of music is just that. Is just being like, girl problems. I mean, that is like 80% of music is relationship music.
And it's relatable though.
Yeah.
Because it's always somewhere, it's like, it's always somebody going through something, and you made that song a breakup song or something, and it's like, yo, you helped me through my relationship. You helped me through this. You helped me through that. That emotional music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, especially hip hop music, it's come a long way.
Yeah. Do you typically find music to be something that helps you through like darker times?
Definitely.
Yeah. How does that process go? Is it like you're down, you're feeling the weight of the world, and you like sit by yourself in your room with headphones on, or are you like, how do you experience music? I for a long time, like I would go for drives. Like I'm a fan of driving, or headphones in the room, like listening to stuff. What's your kind of go-to way to listen to music?
I definitely like, you see, like I always carry like a backpack with me. Okay. For one thing, you know, with music notes on it.
Yeah.
But I always carry these with me, man. I bought these in 2020 when I was trying to record. Like, we were doing all that like stimulus stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna put all this that I'm getting like into my music.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is the perfect time. I always put these on, man, just because of like the quality of sound that I get from them. It's like, definitely I can feel like I'm alone, even if there's like 30 people around me or I'm surrounded. I always feel like I'm able to escape.
Yeah.
You know, and music for me is that therapy. So sometimes it's either, you know, when I want to get inspired, you know, I might listen to my own music, and I'm not ashamed to be one of those people. Like, I listen to my own music. Of course I do. How will I know what I need to do better?
Yeah.
If I don't, okay, what I did here, what I did that. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's a therapeutic thing, man. Just throw it in there, and I like to imagine like I'm in a dark room. Like even when I go to the studio, I've gone to the studio and been like, yo, just black out the room.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, you want to be in a dark room? And I'm like, yes, I want to feel like nobody's here. Because if I feel like nobody's here, you know what I'm saying, then it's just me and the mic. Yeah,
it's kind of like a sensory deprivation tank. Like once you take away all the senses, you hear more. You know what I'm saying? Like you take away the sight, you start hearing more, and like maybe start replacing the darkness with whatever your thoughts from the music start to visualize in front of you. With listening to a bunch of music, like what is there anything that you're listening to lately or in the past where like you hear an artist do something where you're like, I've never heard that before, let me try to incorporate that into my sound? Is there anything that's like that you're onto lately that is like your idea of cutting edge? Like what's on the forefront of the next wave in your mind?
Well, I just remember like starting out and like everybody was telling me like, oh, you gotta have like the punchlines, and you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be witty with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just hearing certain people that was like, there was no punchlines. It was just like, no, I'm just direct with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything I'm saying to you, I'm not trying to put a gimmick to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you what it is, and you either take it or you don't. And I was like, I gotta run with that style. Like, look, I'm gonna just tell you what it is. This is how I feel. These are literally my thoughts. Like, it started out really like, you know, this is not something I'm doing for fame. This is something I'm doing because this is what I know how to do. This is the only way I know how to communicate.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's what I'm gonna do here, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, there's a thing called the next button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's skip to the next one. I'll tell you what, man, I just told somebody the other day that like you can make a supercut of me saying I'll tell you what on this podcast. Like I say it all the time. I don't know why. I guess I started watching King of the Hill and it just like it got into my dialect. So I'll tell you what, man. One of the things that blew my mind when I heard the song Middle Child by J. Cole is like it's a simple song. Lyrics are super simple, like they're not anything complicated, but what's amazing about that song is that there's no wasted line. Like every single line moves into the next without any tricks or anything. It's just like statement and then the next logical statement, like he's writing an essay, but an essay that flows and rhymes. And it's like that kind of straightforward, like these are my thoughts, here's the rhythm, here's the rhyme, and now it's a song. Like that is super impressive. Because like you can try to be direct and just say how you feel all you want, but like to make it work without having any filler words, without having any lines that are just there to complete the rhyme so you can move on to the next thought, to have every thought logically follow after the rest, like that is some polished work right there, you know? Right. So I get that directness. Like instead of doing anything fancy with punchlines and stuff, like it takes real skill to just be like, this is exactly how I'm feeling, and to make it fit and condensed and everything in the one verse, you know?
Right. And not to take away from anybody who does use punchlines, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's super fun. Like there's a time and place for everything. Like you get super punchline bars, like that's fun. Like that's good for when you want to feel like, all right, I'm clever. Like
and that's what I'm saying, because that takes a lot of wit, because you gotta be like really like, okay, what can I really like take from everything I learned in English class? I gotta really put this in here. What can I think they call it the similes. What can I use to compare this to this? Okay, like I want to tell that I'm this. How do I say that without just directly telling you? Like I could tell you like, I'm a boss, right? Or I could tell you like I'm Joe Biden status. Which, you know, in my head, if I hear I'm Joe Biden status, that means like you the leader of the free world. You know what I mean? Like you on top. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you got your ways of saying all that. But
yeah, I like misdirects too, like where you think it's going one way and it goes another way. Like you can say I'm Joe Biden status and it could mean I'm the leader or whatever.
Right.
But it could just mean, you know, you're so drunk that you're stupid and senile, you know? Like it's the same. You can use the same line to mean both at the same time. Like I'm the greatest and also my brain's gone right now, you know? And I love that when a bar has a punchline and then you listen to it a second time and you're like, hold up there. That's a little different there. I just recorded a song with my buddy Eric, and he has a line about Dragon Ball Z, and he says something about Shenron. If you calling on Shenron, that's a bad wish. You're gonna catch these monkey paws. And like, you know, in Dragon Ball Z, when they go like Super Saiyan 4 or whatever, they turn into the giant monkeys. So it's like catch these monkey paws. But also like monkey paw is an old story where like if you make a wish on the monkey paw, you get a bad wish. It's always got like an ironic twist to it.
Double on it.
Yeah. So monkey paw meant both of those things, and I was like, that's a dang good line right there.
I love when artists do that.
Yeah, because words are weird like that, where they have like tons of different meaning, and whenever you hear them, I think that your brain connects all of them at once before it decides like, oh, this is the one they mean. But if you make all the meanings line up, then it's like, oh snap, you just had 4 bars in that one bar, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is Was Visions your last release, or were there any singles since then?
Visions was my last release.
Okay, so when did that come out, and like what have you been doing since then?
So I released Visions on September 9th
Okay,
of last year.
9/9, huh?
Yeah. So since then, really, I've just been trying to really, it's my first project, so I wanted to see how it did. You know,
Yeah.
like it's literally in my eyes, it's my child.
Yeah.
And I put that out into the world, and I wanted to see the reaction from it. I wanted to see, you know, what my status of me being an artist really was, like what level I sit on.
Yeah.
When I put this out. So since then, you know, I've been trying to I'm doing now promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
Go on TikTok with it, you know what I mean? Just really trying to spread word about it and showcase who I am. I've also been trying to find, you know, myself as an artist really, because even though this is my first release, you know, I don't want it to put me in a spot where it's like this is the only thing I do.
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, now that I dropped this, it's out. How can I expand on this?
Yeah.
Where can I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like I go through the album and I talk about I take the listener to different places.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to somebody who doesn't really know me, but this is your first time listening to the project, right? And you listen it from the beginning to the end, and you hear about love, you hear about loss, you hear about growth, and you hear about a place called Zyfax. And first time listen to it, you're gonna be like, what the hell is Zyfax? Like,
Yeah.
what that makes no sense, right? And to give context on it, Zyfax is a place I created when I was in like the 10th grade. Everybody has like their happy place.
Yeah.
So I created a world where it's like, okay, what my perfect world would look like, what it would be called, and that world came out to be Zyfax.
Okay. And what's Zyfax like?
So Zyfax,
I'm gonna check the camera while you tell me.
Okay. Zyfax is there's no one leader, there's no one rules all. It's very everybody lives in harmony. Everybody helps. There's no such thing really as money. It's more like bartering, like how they used to do, like, hey, I have this in exchange for you having that. I can do this for you doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's very peace, and everybody, you know, there's no toxic competition.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just works together as a whole to make the operation go smooth. Everybody plays their part in one big.
I like that you said toxic competition as opposed to no competition, like, because it seems to imply that some competition is good. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think we need a little competition, because it's like, I'm gonna put it like this: if, especially in the perspective of being an artist, right?
Yeah.
If I go on stage and everybody's just the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel like it gives you a like I need to do better thing.
Yeah.
But if I go somewhere, right, and then I go, that dude just killed me.
Yeah.
Like I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like if I do a set and the guy come on after me and his set was better than mine, it's like, okay, he got the crowd rocking. What did he do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That I didn't do.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I do better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let me watch him, take a few things from him, and okay, the next time I go up, I'm gonna be better.
Yeah. There's an element of it that reminds me. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. I don't know if you ever played the Mega Man games. Fantastic. See,
this is dope.
See, Ghost, that's the kind of marketing that you get if you start sponsoring my podcast and give me that Sour Patch watermelon flavor. That's what I want.
Y'all need to go out and try this for real.
In the Mega Man games, you know, you go through a level, you beat the boss, and then once you beat the boss, you get like their weapon. You beat the fire boss, you start shooting fireballs and stuff, you know?
Okay.
And like there's an element of that in performing with other people, you know, where like you want to be able to absorb a part of their power and be able to use that to beat them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking when you're describing that kind of competition. Is like, oh, he just killed me, I'm gonna come back and take a bit of him and try to incorporate it, and then you start getting everything. You take pieces from everyone to try and become the like best version of everything, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you put out Visions. You had this world Zyfax in it. Zyfax, am I pronouncing it right?
XYPHAX.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking with a Z, but it's two X's, huh?
Yep.
It's almost Xanax. Almost. It gives you the same feeling. You're still relaxed, the lack of anxiety, but you're not, on benzos.
I've never even thought about it like
Yeah.
that. That's funny.
So in this perfect world, people barter, huh? No money?
No money, because I feel like, here goes me and my theories.
Yeah.
So money, right? It's a thing where it's like, okay, or at least where I come from.
Yeah.
Money is definitely status.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Well, even if you look on it on a broader spectrum, the more money you have, the better you are.
Yeah.
And I never really understood that, because you could have somebody, that's dirt poor, right? But rich spirit.
Yeah.
You could have somebody that's like rich, broken spirit, right? So for me to be like, in a perfect world, we don't have money.
Yeah.
We just barter. It's not about status or I have this many. It's, can you take what I have in exchange for, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have an apple, if I have an orange, you don't like apples, you like oranges. Yeah. I don't like oranges, I like apples. That perfect trade works out, because now we both get what we want. You know what I mean? But it's also, it doesn't have to be like a material thing. It's like, okay, if you don't want what I have, can I do something for you to where you're willing to give me what I want? Yeah. Right. And I think that's just more fair, bro. Like, I don't think everything has to be so materialistic.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a issue with, because money is a symbol, right. It represents, that same kind of bartering. I give you the apple and you give me the money, and then I give you the money and you give me the orange. It's the same concept, but with a symbol involved, Right. I think that the problem is when people start thinking the symbol is the thing that you're striving for instead of what the symbol gets you in the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like, even in a world devoid of money, people would still be utilizing whatever they can for status, like maybe you're the best person who builds a house, you're going to get all the same things that come with money. You'd get all the women, the status, everyone would look up to you, and it's like there's no money involved, but you're just the best person at building a house, and therefore that gives you. But the benefit of that is at least then you can't pass it down. I think that's one of the issues with money is the ability to pass it down. Because that ends up creating wealthy people who didn't actually earn the wealth.
Right.
Though at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to make money and then pass it on to my children. Like, that's a goal that I have, even though like that's part of the problem, right? Like, I
think it's different. Like, when you come from not having money, to being able to have that money. Yeah. Like, and it's something you got to be careful with, because especially where it's like, so many people, it's like they get their first touch of money, right? They want to help everybody. And that's a good spirit, right? But realistically, you got to be careful with that mindset, because it's like, though I want to help you, right? You got to be in a position to help yourself, to help others. Also, like, it's tricky to help people even if you got money, because like some people, you give them money, they're gonna kill themselves with that money. Like, if you give money to a heroin addict, they're going to be dead within a week, because they're just going to buy all the heroin they can get and do it and be dead, And so like the people who have real problems, they can't be fixed with money. Like they have to be fixed with something that's much more valuable, like time and attention. And that's the hard part. Like, giving somebody, to truly help somebody, you have to give them time and attention, and like that's only one person really in a lifetime, I feel like. And that goes into saying like money isn't the cure to happiness, bro. Yeah, like, no. There are a lot of people who try to fix their demons, and I've never understood that. You try to fix your demons with money. You didn't have this person there for you, so throw money at it. It doesn't work, bro. Like, some people need not money but therapy. Yeah. Or some form. Yeah, I think that one of the better solutions is actually, I think that people think they start getting better because the thing that actually is making them better isn't the money,
it's the pursuit of the money, and having like a purpose like that is actually the way better thing, because then once they get the money, they're like, all right, now what do I do? You know, like it's always better to have a goal in life than to actually have the thing you were pursuing, because then you have the bigger challenge of deciding what to do next, you know? I mean, at least in my case, like that's one of the, I got a buddy that's going through some stuff right now. And that is like, I tell him one of the simplest things that I did, and I think one of the simplest things he's been trying to do, is like get into shape. And like the reason it works so well is because it gives you something to do to occupy your mind, and it stops you. It's something good enough that stops you from doing anything that's going to destroy you. You know, like you can't be like getting wasted and still be trying to get into shape at the same time. You can't be doing anything that destroys your life. You can't do it while you're busy focusing on like working out and stuff. And then afterwards, like you get this rush of chemicals, I assume. I don't know about people who do. I feel terrible after working out. I start getting depressed and stuff. It's like I get my blood pumping, you know, and I feel real good when that's happening. And then as soon as I stop, I feel the cool down, and my brain's like, oh, you're done now. And I'm like, oh, come on. I know that's the goal, right? Is to be done. But that's what I'm saying. Like once you achieve a goal, then you got to figure out what to do next. And it's like, ooh, all right, now that's the hard part, you know, figuring out what to do next. So in your case, what do you do next? What's the next step?
So the next step is like we talking about like after like the money, or
after the money, after the album release, after this interview, what's anything right now in your life? What's the goal?
The goal is, look, just for me, it's always stay myself no matter what. Like after this interview, right? Mm-hmm. I'm always looking for opportunities. Mm-hmm. So the next opportunity comes, you take at that. The next opportunity it comes, like I'm still at that stage where I'm a local artist. So my thing is right now, if I leave here, right? Yeah. I catch a train somewhere. I'm gonna look for somebody who might be listening to music. And sometimes it'll be like, I'll have this just feeling. I don't know if anybody else gets like that voice in their head. It's just like, go do this right now. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I think it'd be really weird, right? Like for me, like I said before, like I'm not like the greatest socially. Like I grew up very socially awkward. So to go up and talk to a random person is not easy. But since I've been making music, people have been telling me, like, just you gotta promote yourself. Who's gonna be your biggest fan other than yourself? Yeah. Right. So I'm always looking for opportunities. So after this, it's always, hey, do you listen to music? Do you like this type of music? I make this type of music. You should listen to my music. I'm always networking. I'm always going to events. I just recently I was at a music video release party. Okay. For I don't know if you've heard Jovan Armand.
No, I have not.
He just released a song with The Game.
Okay.
For the music video, we were in Hollywood, and I got invited through a homie. We went and we had a great night, and you know they're out there dancing. But I step into the room and I see people everywhere, and I'm like, opportunity, right? So I'm walking everywhere. I'm grabbing Instagrams. So you know what I'm saying. My next thing is always, I don't know. I don't really plan it. I just go and I just do. Yeah. I let my actions speak for it. You know, I'm always just trying to do something that benefits me, my music personally.
Yeah, you just stay in the flow. Right. Okay. What is do you think about branding when it comes to you as an artist? Like what your brand is?
Really, I don't try to be like, you know, too gimmicky. I just really just let my brand be. This is me. This is who I am.
Okay. What is you though? Like if you were to think of like the target Rico Barre fan, who are they? How do they spend their time? What kind of job do they have? What kind of car do they have? Like
the target Rico Barre fan is probably like, you know, like I mentioned before, like probably like that socially awkward kid that's not really too good at like expressing themselves. But it's like listening to music and it's like, okay, it turns me on one day and it's like, this is the soundtrack to my life. These are the words I didn't know how to say, but he says them. Like I think this, right? They're probably somewhere watching like Avatar or something. Like they're still in that state. They're not too attached to reality, right? Like they're a free spirit. They go with their flow of life and not let anybody determine what their life should be. That's the target thing. It's like, hey, I'm here to bring you an escape from reality. You know, I can talk about reality. I can bring you away from it. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, everybody always tells you, especially in conscious world, you already know what's going on in the world, right? You hear it on the news or you hear it from the people around you. Some people don't want to know what's going on in the world. Some people want to just say like, hey, take this escape. You know, the same thing people do when they read. Yeah. Takes them to a different place. Music can do that too. Music is something in your soul, right? It's not just something that you just turn on and, well, it can be. It can be something you just turn on in the car and you just use for background noise. Or it could be something that, for me, like certain songs I listen to, I call it a levitation effect. Where it's like I'm listening to the song and I feel powerful. Yeah. Right? Or you turn us, like, you work out, right? Yep. So you have a playlist that you work out to because it makes you feel a certain way. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that effect of, you know, so I feel like the target fan for me is just looking for like an escape through this world, trying to figure out, you know, who you are. While everybody's like, you should be this. And it's like, no, I don't know about your ideas. I want to be me. Yeah. I like that idea. I mean, escaping from the world, that's something that I feel can be criticized. But it's not like you can fix the world. So why deal with the problems in the world, right? Right. I mean, you can fix your world. That's the difference, right? You can fix your world, whatever problems are in your life. I think everybody has the power to fix that, right? But I don't think anybody has the power to fix the world, you know? And not everybody wants to be fixed. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing like giving a heroin addict money. Like, it doesn't help them. You can offer a lot of homeless people houses and like they're not going to take it because like they like where they're at, you know, in that what most people would consider brokenness. But I mean, I guess, you know, some people like it. Some people like that freedom, you know. Do you ever I kind of get it. Like sometimes I'll see some homeless people and be like, bro, you're living the life. You know, you get to wake up and just be like, where do I want to go today? Wherever I want to go today. I'm just going to go and live life, you know? Right. I think that there is this, one of the worst parts of being an adult and like having a job and stuff is like, I get to be myself, right? And then 9:30 comes around and I clock into work and I have to switch to a different person for 8 hours. And then I get to turn back and be like, all right, what do I care about? Let me go do that. And like one of my goals in life is to get to a point where I never have to flip that switch, where I get to be like, all right, what do I care about? Let me go pursue that. Yeah. Always, you know? And like, for as much as like a homeless person or someone might be like, well, man, that's such a terrible situation. But like, yeah, but they're pursuing everything they want, right? There's nobody telling them like, no, you got to change who you are for these 8 hours so you can get your money, so you can use that to pursue what you want. They just get to be like, no, I'm going to pursue what I want. I don't care if my goals are hard to attain, if my day-to-day, like I got to find some food today and that's going to be hard to do because I don't have any money. I got to find shelter for tonight and that's going to be hard to do because I don't got a house. But like, they get to pursue it the whole time. That's all they care about. And then like, that's all they have to chase after. Whereas most people, like, they're thinking, oh, I got to pay my bills today. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to care about these things I don't care about all day. I'm going to go to my job at McDonald's and care about these burgers for a while. I don't care about these burgers. These burgers are the worst things, whatever. But I got to pretend to care about them for 8 hours because what I really care about is the money I get at the end of the day. That consistency of being able to like just pursue the things you care about is like, I think, an important thing to try to obtain in life. I think that's how people are supposed to be, right? They aren't supposed to pursue anything except the things that they actually care about, which like most of us don't. And most of us have to pretend to care about other things for a long time in the day. Yeah, what do you think? Do you just spend all your time pursuing what you care about? Or do you have to flip that switch sometimes? It really depends like what situation I'm in.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm somebody I like to, especially when it comes to people, like listen to what's going on. Or
Mm.
like if I'm at the job, like if I'm at a job and my job is to flip burgers, you know what I'm saying? My goal at the end of the day, like I'm still thinking if I'm at this job, my goal is to make money.
Mm.
Overall, I care about the money I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
So since it results in me making money, then I care about what I'm doing. So if I
Yeah.
don't care, for me, if I don't care in this moment, you know what I'm saying, about what I'm doing, then I'm not gonna get the result that I want.
Yeah.
And it all leads to a bigger picture,
Mm.
right? Like I'm not just like some people, it's yeah, paying the bills and stuff like that. And I get, right? That's respectable. That's understandable.
Mm.
For me, it's okay, yeah, I got these bills to pay and stuff, but it's a bigger picture beyond that. I don't want
Yeah.
to just have enough to pay my bills because then I'm surviving. I don't want to survive. I want to live.
Mm.
So I'm going to pay my bills for now. I'm going to do what I got to do to be able to, yes, in this moment, I'm surviving, right? But at the end of the goal, right? There's a quote that said, "Grind till you're chilling on a work day,"
Mm.
right? So I want to be able to where it's like I'm not working for nobody. You know, I'm working
Yeah.
for myself. You know,
Mm.
I own this business. You
Mm.
know, I want to be to where it's like I'm sitting in this interview right now and just sitting here, I'm making money.
Yeah.
I want to be in that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be, oh, I got to clock in to make money.
Mm.
So, yeah.
How do you feel about the process of making music? Do you do your album art? I mean, in all your album arts, do you have different artists do it for different projects, or are you putting it all together?
I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
So I've done most of my album work.
Okay.
The only one that I didn't touch was done by a fellow artist, Jalen Parker, who's on my
Okay.
song Celestial.
Mm.
And he also does feature some vocals on my album Visions as well.
Okay.
But he did the cover art for my single Celestial, which is like a alien being coming out the water.
Mm.
Because right now I'm not at a time where I have like the greatest budget for like artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So originally, like my first single out there is literally the cover art for Shy Guy Story. Literally just says Rico Barre, Shy Guy Story, right? Or like
Okay. Yeah. One of those like title cards for a video kind of thing.
yeah, or like my album Visions is
Mhm.
literally just a picture of me as a kid that I ran through an Instagram filter.
Oh,
It
really?
it looked so dope. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go through this. I put my name on there. I put the album title, and it looked like I was flashing back to that version of me as a kid.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing right now too, where a lot of album arts have the repetition of the album name on it. Like I've seen that on a few like popular albums. I want to say a Drake album, but I don't know which one. So it kind of it works out like that. Also, the baby photo of an artist that seems to be a thing too. So it's working. How so that was just ran through an Instagram filter, huh?
Just ran through an Instagram filter.
Yeah, that works out great. So how do you enjoy? Do you enjoy the process of creating stuff? Because I always tell people like I don't like to write. I like having things written. Like I like after I'm done writing to be like, yes, I wrote this and I'm proud of it, you know. But the actual process of writing, like I don't like it. It's rough. It's hard work. Like I have to force myself to do it because I like the product in the end, not so much that I like the experience. But from talking to other people, like some people really like the experience of putting stuff together and creating stuff. How do you feel about that?
I love the experience because I like seeing where I start with it. And this is especially, you know, I save all my files like from my first draft to the final product.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, like it changed this much. Like Dreams, the last song on the album,
Mm-hmm.
right? At first wasn't even sure if it was gonna be on there because all I had heard was, and during the process too, I'll do something like this where I go on YouTube and just like kind of, you know, the type beats, like this is kind of the vibe I want to send. And then I had recorded an idea I had to to this beat. It was just like a guitar like type beat. And at first, Dreams was gonna be like an interlude, right? And I had sent it to the producer Rad City, who produced most of the album. And I was like, hey, you do something like this, right? And she took that and she turned the vibe into something that kind of, to me, sounded like something that came from outer space. And I was like, just for me, that was perfect because I'm talking about Zyfax. So it just, the vibe seemed out of this world. And so with the process that I like listening to beats, you know, like even on YouTube, be like, okay, I'm gonna take this inspiration, we're gonna turn it into this, right? And we're gonna see where it goes from being in the beginning to where it is in the final product. And you know what? I also love like, hey, you know, even when like I'm done with a song, right? I sit there and I go, it's written. Sometimes it's not enough for me. I'll go in there and I'll write another one. Like, okay, I did this version about it. This version of this recording is about love. I'm gonna flip the script now. I'm gonna talk about how dope I am, or I'm gonna talk about this thing, or I'm gonna talk about that. Or you know what? I sang a little bit in this one. You know, I'm gonna rap in that one. Or I put this harmony here. I'm gonna switch that harmony. You know, like I like doing different versions so that at the end it's like, okay, I have these options. Which one do I want to go with? And then I just get to, that's the fun part. I get to choose, and I get to, you know, I have a circle of people that I'm like, hey, listen to this for me. Tell me what you think. Right. And then we all put our input in, and it's like, okay, we're going with this one.
Yeah. Right on. So you are able to just flow, just get thoughts out real quick. It seems like, unless that takes like a year, that process, that it would have to take a long time unless you're able to just like, do you pop out a verse in like one writing session?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll freestyle it.
Okay.
And then I'll listen to the freestyle. I'll be like, you know what? I like what I said right here.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna write that down. Yeah. Right. And so, you know, once I have that written down, I'm able to actually critique it, right? Work on the delivery of it. Like, okay, this was just the idea. Now that I have the idea, I can say, like, you ever listen to a song, even somebody else's song, and they said it one way, but then you put your own harmony on it or your own twist of it, like, oh, it could have been said that way. I have that idea now to where it's like, okay, I made this idea. Now I'm going to sit on it. I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to see what comes. Okay. And then it's like, okay, now I know I can do this. Now I know I can put this harmony on it. Now I know, oh, this ad-lib can go there. Or you know what? Hey, this needs to go harder. Or I can say it like this. I can say it like that. You know what I mean? I have all these different variables.
Yeah. Yeah. So you like getting it, you like getting a like first draft, some kind of project, some kind of form of the song out. That way you can form recorded. That way you can use that as a tool to tweak it and figure out what it actually is going to be. Yeah. You like that, them first steps, layers and stuff, huh?
Sometimes it's like that. Or actually the first song that I was credited with on Spotify was the homie Nit produced the beat, right? So it's under his name, but like I'm like the feature rapping on it. And it's called Discussion. That song I did in like 20 minutes, right? Writing wise. Yeah. I did that in 20 minutes because it was something I was so passionate with. This was the time during the protests that were going on for like the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And George Floyd, you know, like all that was really happening. And it was like right in front of my face. Yeah. It was like, this is not a game. Like, this is really, you know, like I'm growing up now and I'm really seeing this happen like right in front of my eyes. So I was just really upset. I think that's where my best writing comes from, really, is like not when I'm just trying to be like, oh, let me write about this generic topic or something, but it's like, no, something I'm actually emotional about. And I sat in there, I was just like, look, we all need to talk. Like somewhere in here, there's a divide that we need to break through. And I wrote that in 20 minutes and I told Ned about it. He was like, I sent it to him. He's like, you wrote this in 20 minutes? No way. I said, 20 minutes, bro. Not 20 minutes, it was less than that. And from there, and then we released it.
Do you, when you have a song, do you start with a concept that you want to say to this? Like you said, you sometimes write to just YouTube beats. So is it the music that inspires a topic, or do you go in with a topic in mind and like you search for music that kind of fits that emotion and you try to start writing to express that, or do you just start writing words and whatever theme starts to develop, you just go with that?
For me, it always really depends, because sometimes it'll be the beat. Sometimes it'll be the beat, and I hear the beat, and I just start, like, it's almost like it's not me talking, right? So actually, I'm a prayer, right? So I like to pray, and a lot of times before a session, I'll pray like, "Hey, help me find the words to say here. Help me find this topic that I need to that can help maybe other people, through their tough time, or can inspire something, right?" And then, like I said, it's unconscious. I'll just start, like, when I said, like, I'll freestyle, and I'll be like, "Hey, that was dope. Like, I didn't expect that to come out." So sometimes it's the beat that's just like, "Dope, this is just a dope beat," and I'll put something to it. Sometimes I'll go to my phone and just like, okay, what do I have? Maybe this can fit this. Maybe this can fit that, right? Or sometimes it's just like maybe not even a beat as a whole, because sometimes I'll sit and like try to make my own beat, and I'll hear like a piano lick. Just not even a finished product, just like the littlest thing. And it could be the melody, it could be the beat, it could be something I was already wanted to go in with it. It really depends on my mood. I'll say that. So
here's a strange question. It's probably not something you want to answer, but I'm going to tell you to answer it. What is the worst song that you have made that people can find and listen to?
What is the worst song I made?
And why do you think it's your worst?
That they can find.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, and I had people mad at me for this. I actually had a song that I released and then I unreleased it. People were mad at me.
Okay.
That they can find.
Yeah, I got a ton that I made and then unreleased, because I was making stuff when I was 16 and putting it all on YouTube, and a bulk of it was terrible. Just tons of it was terrible. Yeah, as Kid Ikarus, on my mixtape, the song "Cut Your Robe" is, I think, the worst song I've released. It is over an Aesop rock beat, and I try to like do a fast flow in the third verse, and it's just super sloppy. And besides that, like, the lyrics are just nonsensical and overly like egotistical. Like, I like braggadocio rap, but I do some kind of gimmick in that's like, I can't remember what it is, but it's not good. It's goofy. It's a goofy song. It's an okay song. Like, it's catchy, and I do all right with it, but it's the worst song I've put out as Kid Ikarus. When I used to be MC Misfit, I had a lot more worse songs, and there are a few of those out there. But I'm not MC Misfit anymore, so those aren't my song. I'm not gonna count them.
So it'll probably be, it's under a different name, right? Because I've gone through so many name changes, and I feel like, this is something that not a lot of artists talk about. Like, how many names did it take you till you actually got
found the one that identity you work with? Yeah,
right. So, this is when I was going under the Young King, right? I had a song called Monster, and it was like an alter ego. So I turned my voice like all the way deep, and it was like, this is not the conscious version of me that you get, like the loving, awesome, everything's awesome, dude. Like, this is I'm mad at the world. One. Like, everything is just right. So it was like all my frustration being brought out, and at the time I thought it was the hardest thing, right? But then I'm just like, this just sounds like a little kid having a tantrum.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's very edgelord. You go very edgelord in it.
Yeah, like I come out, I'm like, my name is Monster. I'll put a stop to everything you love. Then have you asking why I show no mercy? I don't give a fuck. And I'm just like, and then I quoted my real name, and then I'm just like, this is not him. Like, I'm just somebody else. And I was just like, I listened back to it, and it's one of those things that I laugh about. It's like, I'll still keep it out there, but it's like, man, this was cringy. Yeah. But I'm glad I did it. Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of making bad songs, right? You learn from it. You learn, like, all right, yeah, I tried something, didn't work this time, but the next time I try something, it's gonna work out.
Right.
Yeah. you've heard my song Doom Song, where I do like the screaming vocals, and probably a little bit as well where I do the screaming vocals. On my mixtape, I do a song with screaming vocals, and it is not good. It's all right. It's a catchy song. It's done well, but like it's over like a boom bap beat, and so it didn't blend together well at all.
Passions.
Yeah, but like I needed to try that before I could get to the point where I realized like, oh, if I have these like 808 breakdowns, then it works. But it doesn't over this other type of beat. I had to figure that out. And the only way I was going to figure that out is by trying it first. And that's how people grow, I think. Yeah, I think you got to try things. I think the worst thing that people can do is not try things. Try new things, take risks, and you're going to fail like 80% of the time you take a risk. But like that's the only way to grow. You end up getting better on the off chance, on those 20% times where you're like, this is it right here, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Any like big risks that you've taken in your music that you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work out, and then it does?
I mean, putting out music in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's such a hard thing for people to do. When I started, that was the first goal. Mm-hmm. Is I had goes back to 2019, right? I was this kid who I was behind in credits. You know, a lot of people were like, bro, you're not gonna even graduate, you're not gonna even do this, right? I had this one teacher, and this teacher literally changed my life, bro. Mm-hmm. Like when I tell you, like she's my favorite teacher of all time. No disrespect to any teacher I've ever had, but I call her Georgina Feeney. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ever watch like Boy Meets World, there's this character called George Feeney, and he was like just the guiding character for their lives. And she was like my George Feeney, so I called her Georgina. Mm-hmm. And she would be like, look, we would work on computers to catch up credits, right? She'd be like, look, you just do one assignment today, so you can do whatever you want. So I used to sit on there on this project called Band Lab, right? And okay, time was going by. Now I'm at the point where I'm about to leave school. I did all I needed to do, and I actually finished before the school year ended. Mm-hmm. Right? School ends in like June. I finished in October. Right? So everybody's like, "What are you gonna do now?" It's like, "You're just gonna go home?" I was like, "Nope. I'm gonna put out music. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put out music. I'm gonna perform." And you know, a lot of kids were like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Yeah. So I started out, actually the school had me back, and they're like, hey, we want to have you perform in front of the lunches, because there was 2 schools on campus. Okay. So we're like, you're going to perform at both lunches. And I was still like on the SoundCloud wave and stuff like that, right? 2020, we did Discussion. That was my first feature on Spotify. And then I came out with Shy Guy Story because I was like, I need something, right? But I ended up accomplishing that goal. So I ended up just doing like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I said I was gonna do. And looking back at it now, like it comes full circle to like even that show we just did. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I'm doing everything I said I would do. And I actually just got contacted by Georgina, and she was like, hey, like I just want to let you know, like I always knew that you would, and I'm happy to see this star keep shining. Right?
That's pretty sick.
It's just a big pivotal moment, man.
Yeah. My shout out to teachers who are great. Shout out to Mrs. Fernandez. She used to be my 12th grade English teacher. We had a book club where we read the books that were banned at our school, because I went to Calvary Chapel, so a lot of great books were not taught in the classes. We actually got in 11th grade, we were assigned The Invisible Man by Ellison. I think Ralph Ellison, something Ellison. And the first chapter talks about a naked woman in a boxing ring or something. And like the few kids that started reading ahead, I was one of them. I was like, what is this book about? And they're like, that wasn't The Invisible Man that we thought it was. The one we wanted was from a different author. We're not going to cover that this year. But like book, The Invisible Man, is like a well-regarded book. I didn't end up reading it because whatever, but it's considered like a really well-regarded, very how do you say it? Very well respected for saying something deep kind of book. And so like there were books like that the school had banned. And so in 12th grade, our English teacher had a little book club with like 4 of us where we read like Fahrenheit 451 and Heart of Darkness and The Stranger by Albert Camus and Fight Club. The author of Fight Club was her favorite author, also my favorite author, Chuck Palahniuk. Fantastic. He writes amazing books that are all very dark and funny. Both of those things, like gross, dark, and funny. It's fantastic. But yeah, shout out to good teachers that, take some interest in students. Maybe don't take interest in students. There's a better way to phrase that. But we've reached the end of the podcast, and I always give my guests the opportunity to shout someone out. I've actually started limiting it to one person so that I can also like tag them in the descriptions, put a link to their stuff in the description. So if you can, think of just one person that you'd like to shout out, somebody who doesn't get enough recognition.
I want to shout out my boy too, Sonny. He's been coming up recently, and I've known him since high school. I've been telling him like, dude, you're too dope not to put out music.
Mm-hmm.
And recently he's finally listened to my advice, and he put out his single Locks.
Okay.
So I definitely say go listen to that. You can follow him on Instagram.
Locks like a key.
Locks like hair, LOCS.
Okay.
Because he's big on like if you see him like he has like long hair.
Yeah.
So, but it's called Locks. It's definitely really dope, and people should go check that out.
Is that 2 Sunny TOO, or is it the number 2?
It's the number 2, okay. And it's Sunny.
Okay, right on. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the homie OKL, the homies brand, because this Saturday we're gonna have a show. You're gonna be there. We're gonna have a show where we're also gonna have a Tony Hawk tournament. If you win Tony Hawk 2. Then you get a brand deal with OKL. You get a line of merch with the OKL logo on it and your logo on it, and that's $300 worth of free merch for you if you win that Tony Hawk tournament. Besides that, we got excellent artists there. We got you. We also got Dev with the Bev and Big Ace sharing the set. We've got we got Mars Playground, the person I had on last week. We got myself. We got Clash. Oh, am I forgetting anybody? That should be it right there. Oh, okay. No, somebody was going to perform, but then they dropped out. So that's the set list right there. Me, Clash, you, Dev with the Bev, and Big Ace, and the homie Mars Playground. And they're all fantastic artists. It's going to be a fun time. It's free if you have OKL merch. If not, you got to buy some OKL merch at the door. If you have some money problems, just show up and we can find a way to get you OKL merch. All right. So with that, that's the end of the podcast. Rico, thank you so much for coming through and sitting down with me. Man. Yeah, dude, I really appreciate it. Everybody else, have a fantastic night or day or whatever time you're listening to this. Goodbye. I'm feeling blessed. Tell me how are you? Just let me know if there's anything that I could do.